Red and blue washed my living room like a bad neon sign. Car doors thumped. Radios crackled. Footsteps hit my front walk, and I remember thinking, keep your voice low, Jordan. Do not give them a story. They can sell. My name is Jordan Hale, Sheriff of Bryer County, Tennessee, first woman to wear the star here, and the first black woman too. And the night the cruisers stopped at my house, I learned what a neighborhood looks like when fear puts on a name tag and calls itself order. Yeah, that happened. I bought a modest brick place in Sycamore Hollow because I wanted small things that feel big when your life is constant sirens. A straight mailbox, a maple tree with honest shade, a porch that lets you breathe. And on move-in day, I pulled up in a rental truck with sweat running down my neck. Took a minute to clock the home I worked for, then stepped into a cul-de-sac where blinds twitched like nervous eyelids. A guy froze mid-sprinkle with his hose water arcing on the concrete, like a question mark. The woman on the next porch pretended to check her phone with the focus of a surgeon, but never looked away. And I told myself, people are curious. People are nosy. Give it time. You know what I mean. By noon, I'm unloading the last box when he pulls up. White SUV golf shirt tucked a little too proud, and sticks out a hand like he invented introductions. Ethan Caraway, president of the Sycamore Hollow HOA. Here to see if you need anything, he says. And I say, Jordan, appreciate it. Just settling in while his eyes scan my driveway, my recycling bin, the angle of the lawn like a satellite. We keep things tidy, he says. Bins not early. Lawns, weekly headlights off after 10. Consistency keeps a community respectable. And he pats the hood of my car like it's cooperative. Then leaves me on my own porch, holding a box and an old familiar weight. Not fear. Not yet. Just that quiet promise I make in rooms, where I'm already guilty in somebody else's head. Be patient, be clear, be harder to move than a house. Day after day, the staring keeps its schedule. The dog walker slows down exactly in front of my yard. A sedan creeps by, and the driver does that long lean through the passenger window. I raise a hand. They blink like I flashed a mirror, then speed off, and the first morning I leave in uniform. Coffee boots, belt badge. Two ladies pause mid-whisper at the mailbox. I throw a soft morning. They reply with that silence you can hear. That night, I catch voices drifting through the screen, always gone before sunrise, back after dark. Who does that? And I shut the window, because sometimes the kindest thing you can say is nothing. 2 days later, a letter is taped to my door with the kind of care people save for crafts. Violation trash receptacles may not be visible beyond scheduled collection hours. And I laugh once because laughing is cheaper than screaming my bin sat by the curb for an hour after pickup while I was on the phone about an abatement. But okay. Then a photo arrives, my front tire kissing the grass like a sin. Then a note about my porch light disturbing ambiance after midnight. Then a demand to repaint a brand new mailbox. And I take a slow walk down the street to teach myself what consistency looks like when it's honest. Bins are out. Lights are on, someone's parked half on the curb. Nobody else has paper on the door. Funny how rules are loudest where you're already looking. I spot Ethan across the way with a clipboard and a smile that never quite stands up page. The treasurer with a mean sweet tooth for gossip is beside him pointing at my driveway like it stole her lunch, and I cross my lawn because some things deserve breathing distance but not a mile. Mr. Caraway, I say calm and even, we need to talk. Ms. Hale, he says, eyebrows up like he's surprised I can speak everything all right. I hold up the letter. Is this a rule or a target? He chuckles that soft power chuckle. We just want consistency. No, I say one step closer, so he can smell the truth. You want me small. That's different. He reaches for the shield he trusts. We hold everyone to the same standard. And I shake my head. I walked the street. I say you don't. His jaw tightens. Clipboard rises. Conversation ends. The storm starts small. It always does. Little paper cuts, a board meeting I'm not invited to, where Paige says people are uncomfortable in that honeyed tone that stains your shirt. And a quieter board member named Omar asks the only grown-up question. What rule did she actually break? But facts don't stand a chance when perception wants a job, and perception is just fear with its hair combed. The night everything tilts, my cruiser is in the driveway. The light bar throws a thin red reflection on the garage door. I'm at the table finishing reports, and by 9:30, the street fills with color that doesn't belong to Christmas. One unit, then another, then a third. Doors open, radios buzz, hands rest on belts, and I step onto my porch because it's my porch. Evening, I say. And the rookie up front blinks hard, mouth opening and closing like a fish that realized it's on land. Sheriff, he finally manages. We got a call about suspicious activity at this address. Possible criminal traffic leaving at odd hours. I tilt my head like a teacher who wants the student to hear it again. Criminal traffic at my house, I say. And his sergeant who knows me, who knows the work, steps in. And says flat, Sheriff Hale lives here and across the street. Silhouettes crowd windows, porch lights come on like stage cues. Paige is on her steps with her phone held high, of course. And farther down, Ethan studies his mailbox like it has advice. I walk one step, then another. Slow, steady. Not daring, just deciding. If you get a call about this address again, I say, voice low, but carrying. You check the map. You check your notes. You use the part of your brain that remembers what embarrassment feels like. There's no criminal activity here unless we're criminalizing a woman drinking decaf and finishing her paperwork. And I angle my body toward the porches without giving them the respect of my full attention and tell dispatch what this is. It's not safety. It's neighbors who can't mind their business. Engines turn over. The colors drain off the houses. The air changes, and I stand in my yard, letting the quiet settle back down. Because quiet has to be taught what to do after you scare it. Next morning, my inbox pings with an all-caps special. Emergency HOA meeting. And I sip my coffee, press my uniform, and show up on time, because I am never late when people try to teach me what I already know. The clubhouse smells like lemon cleaner and old carpet folding chairs. The full theater, Ethan at the front, gripping his clipboard like it's sworn in Paige, beside him, with that tight smile that says she already wrote the minutes. We've had troubling developments. Ethan starts law enforcement visited our community. We need to discuss appropriate action. And a voice from the back says what everyone knows. Those cruisers went to the sheriff's house, and the room tilts. I stand polyester and authority and say, it is about fairness. Sheriff Jordan Hale, Bryer County. The woman you called the cops on lives on Sycamore Hollow Lane, pays dues, and was writing reports at her table while y'all held a field trip on her lawn. Gasps make a sound Shame does too, like a bottle cap, skipping across concrete. Paige leans into the mic. No one is targeting you. We want safety. And I ask the only honest question. Safety. From what? From early mornings, late nights, groceries? A crooked mow on week 1 because the spark plug needed replacing. You know what I mean. Omar clears his throat. I haven't seen her break a bylaw, and Ethan grabs the rope he trusts. Perception matters, and I nod. You're right. And last night, Perception wore a polo and carried a clipboard, which should have stayed in my head, but didn't, and I watch it hit. I soften because anger can win a moment and still lose the room. I didn't move here to wear a badge in the driveway. I say I moved here for peace. You don't have to like me or bake a casserole, but you will not paper cut me in my own home because the next envelope won't be taped to my door. It will be sent to my attorney. The meeting staggers forward afterward in the lot. A couple named Dana and Henry walk over with that nervous courage that makes you forgive people. We're sorry, Dana says we should have knocked, and I tell them the truth without drawing blood. Silence counts, showing up counts too. A week later, I make my own flyer, community forum. Saturday 7 p.m., no HOA business, just neighbors. Because sometimes you stop waiting for permission and you build the room you need. I wear jeans and a button-down, no badge, no belt, nothing but a voice. And I tell them I organized this because I can't sleep in a house where I'm a mystery people decided to solve with rumors, and a woman admits I didn't know you were the sheriff. People were saying things, and I say, that's the problem. Not cruel, just clear. No one knocked. So here's the quiet part out loud. I leave early because crime doesn't wait for daylight. I come home late because courtrooms don't care about dinner. My cruiser is a county vehicle in a county driveway. You don't have to like any of it, but you don't get to make it a crime. And a kid tugs. His mom's sleeve looks up at me and says, "You're the sheriff." And I grin. That's me, and he goes, "Cool," then sprints away, which resets a room better than any speech. The next regular HOA meeting, Omar runs it. Ethan tries to steer with a tired jaw. Paige repeats the line about rules, and I turn to her and say, "The rules apply. They just need to apply to everyone or to no one." Pick and the hum you hear is a neighborhood realizing a corner just got turned. I stand at the end, not to scold, just to close a chapter we all wrote. When I bought this house, I thought I was buying peace. I say what I bought was a lesson. Community breaks fast on rumors, glances, and quiet, but it can be rebuilt if people are brave enough to admit when they were wrong. Some clap, some stare down at their hands, some slip out early to hide from their mirrors. And that's fine. Healing isn't a group project with easy grades. These days, some neighbors wave. Some don't. Ethan watches like I'm an audit. Paige walks past like, whether Dana leaves cookies on my step with a note that says, "We should have knocked sooner." And most nights, I sit on my porch with a glass of water, listening to the street exhale. Kids on bikes, parents calling a dog, convinced the moon is trespassing, and I think about the truth that carried me here. A badge doesn't stop bias. A title won't dim a porch light pointed at your face, but you can claim your own porch and invite people onto it. You can leave the light on and refuse to shrink. So tell me in the comments, did the HOA do its job, or did they hide bias behind bylaws? Have you had the cops called on you for living your life? Have you seen a neighborhood lose its mind over the wrong details? What does safety look like? Where you live? And who gets to define it? Be honest. Be loud. And if this hit home, share it, subscribe, and keep the conversation messy and real, because peace is worth fighting for, and neighbors should knock before they judge.